With a fleet of 154 ships, 346 aircraft, and 50,800 personnel, the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force proves that you don't need to have the best weapons to be, well, the best. Handicapped by the nation's laws to only attack and defense, the JMSDF had to think outside the box to be innovative. Today, they have one of the most sought-after submarine classes. Here's how they did it. After Japan's defeat in World War II, the Imperial Japanese Navy was dissolved after the acceptance of the Potsdam Declaration. Some ships, like the battleship Nagato, were seized by the Allied powers as reparations, while others were repurposed for repatriating Japanese soldiers and minesweeping near Japan. And don't even get us started on how Article 9 of Japanese Constitution specified that the Japanese people forever renounce war as a sovereign right and reject using force to resolve international conflicts. This strictly reserved Japan's forces for self-defense. Remember what happened in the Cold War? The US encouraged Japan to beef up its defense to reduce its dependence on American forces, especially in combating submarines. The Soviets had a large, powerful submarine fleet, so the JMSDF was primarily tasked with an anti-submarine role. In any case, Japan's Maritime Self-Defense Force has made remarkable progress over the years, achieving feats that few others have matched. With meticulous defense planning, where submarines are retired early and replaced with newer, more advanced models, Japan is overachieving on the seas, and its fleet ranks among the most advanced diesel-electric submarines globally. Along with the Japanese Coast Guard, the JMSDF has actively prevented North Korean infiltrators from entering Japan. And on the 22nd of December 2001, it engaged and sank a North Korean spy ship in the Battle of Amami-Oshima. The following year, the JMSDF sent ships to the Arabian Sea to support Operation Anaconda in the war in Afghanistan. Within its cutting-edge fleet, the JMSDF has light carriers, large Aegis destroyers, and advanced, stealthy diesel-electric submarines. Though not cut in stone, Japan's naval strategy stands out due to three key policies: maintaining a stable production cycle for new submarines, retiring operational boats early, and keeping retired submarines in reserve for training. Why? Because they effectively balance cost, readiness, and the ability to scale up quickly during wartime. Since 1965, the JMSDF has consistently produced ocean-going submarines, establishing a stable production cycle by 1980 with the Yoshio class. And yes, both Mitsubishi and Kawasaki shipyards produce one submarine every 2 years. They've been able to maintain an uninterrupted schedule, except in 1996, thanks to the Kobe earthquake, and in 2014. One thing we really love about the JMSDF submarine program, though, is its strong R&D, with new classes planned well in advance. The JMSDF also thoroughly tests new technologies, like air-independent propulsion and lithium-ion batteries, by retrofitting older subs before incorporating them fleet-wide. This was done in 2000 with AIP technology on the Hiroshio-class submarine JS Asashio, and again in 2020 with lithium-ion batteries on Soryo-class submarines JS Oryu and JS Toryu. Another thing that sets Japanese submarines' industrial planning apart is the lack of extensive mid-life refits for submarines, unlike their American counterparts. Surprised? You shouldn't be. Overhauling older submarines can be unpredictable and lead to delays due to their often worse-than-expected material conditions. Although a midlife upgrade might save costs in peacetime, the focus on new construction enhances stability in the submarine industrial base. JMSDF ship repair officers point out that modifying a pressure hull and replacing components in cramped submarines is time-consuming. Linked to the Shikinen Sengu, a ritual where the revered Isle Shrine in Japan is rebuilt every 20 years, they believe new construction offers more submarine sea power per man-hour than midlife overhauls. So you see, consistent production and early retirement of submarines allow the JMSDF to maintain several reserve submarines in good condition before decommissioning. When submarines are decommissioned, they are typically transferred to the training squadron, where they regularly sail to train soldiers before they join operational boats. This training fleet not only prepares sailors with necessary sea time, but also enables quick reallocation of submarines back to the operational fleet when new construction or delayed decommissioning cannot fulfill demand. A good example of this is the fact that JMSDF transferred older destroyers, such as JS Asagiri and JS Yamagiri, back to the operational fleet in 2011 and 2012 to address increased demand for surface vessels. When submarines finish their time with the training squad, they remain in reserve status and receive maintenance until they are ultimately decommissioned. If the demand for submarines exceeds the operational training boats, these reserve submarines could potentially be returned to service after maintenance. That said, how about we talk about the real deal? If you've never heard of the Japanese Taige class, then are you even on our planet? It's the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force's newest, baddest stealth submarine, and with its weapon capacity, high-strength steel, and lithium-ion batteries for enhanced underwater endurance, it's regarded as among the best in service today. However, the Taige's predecessor should not be underestimated. Not only did she set the standard for the Taige class, but she also has several impressive features native to it. Based on the Oyashio class submarine, the Soryu class carries a hydrodynamic design. The hull is made from high-tensile steel and is covered with an anechoic coating to reduce the reflection of acoustic waves. The vessel measures 84 meters in length, with a beam of 9.1 meters and a depth of 10.3 meters. Its normal draft is 8.4 meters, and it has a surface displacement of 2,950 tons, increasing to 4,200 tons when submerged. As for accommodation, Soryu-class submarines can house a crew of 65, consisting of 9 officers and 56 enlisted personnel. Plus, it can travel at a surface speed of 13 knots and a submerged speed of 20 knots, with a maximum range of 6,100 nautical miles at a cruising speed of 6.5 knots. Speaking of speed, the Soryu is juiced up by a diesel-electric propulsion system, featuring 2 Kawasaki SB-type diesel engines and 4 Kawasaki Stirling engines, the latter of which was manufactured by Sweden-based Kockums. This setup delivers a total power output of 2,900 kilowatts when surfaced and 6,000 kilowatts while submerged. Interestingly, Soryu was the first JMSDF submarine class to be equipped with Stirling, and thankfully so, because it's a silent and vibration-free external combustion engine. The air-independent propulsion system on board minimizes the need for regular battery recharging and increases the submarine's submerged endurance. But like that wasn't already enough, the engine also uses bottled liquid oxygen to enable the combustion of diesel fuel. The advantage of this is that the propulsion system operates much quieter than traditional diesel engines. Additionally, its range is estimated to be around 6,100 miles, or about 9,800 kilometers. While the electric propulsion motor drives a propeller through a single shaft, the submarine is also fitted with an X-rudder to enhance its maneuverability, especially when operating near the seabed. And guess what? The weapon systems of the Soryu are no slouch either. The Soryu class is equipped with 6 HU-606 533mm torpedo tubes, capable of launching Type 89 torpedoes and UGM-84 Harpoon anti-ship missiles. The Harpoon missile has a range exceeding 124 kilometers and reaches speeds of 864 kilometers an hour. As for the Type 89 torpedo, it has both active and passive homing modes and can travel at a maximum speed of 130 kilometers, whilst engaging targets up to 50 kilometers away. Aren't you entertained? We certainly are. Moving on to sensors, the submarine is outfitted with a ZPS-6F navigation and surface search radar. Its sonar systems include 4 low-frequency flank arrays, a bow array, and a towed array, enhancing its surveillance capabilities. Add to the fact that the submarine is designed with stealth features and safety enhancements, including snorkel equipment, and you've got a well-oiled machine. What's there to hate? Certainly not the countermeasures. The Soryu is equipped with ZLR-36 EMS systems and features 2 3-inch underwater countermeasure launchers for deploying acoustic device countermeasures. If Article 9 of the Japanese Constitution didn't handicap the nation, who knows how many battles the Soryu class would have had by now. JS Soryu, the first of its class, took part in the Japan-US-India joint training exercise held near Guam Island from June 8th to 16th in 2018. The participating units included the JS Soryu, escort vessels JS-I, JS Suzunami, and JS Fuyuzuki, along with 5 onboard aircraft and 2 P-1 patrol aircraft. However, for all its success, the JS Soryu had a couple low points. One of them in particular was February 8, 2021, when she collided with the commercial bulk carrier Ocean Artemis, approximately 22 nautical miles southeast of Cape Ashizuri, while surfacing during a training exercise. While the commercial vessel reported no damage or injuries, Soryu sustained damage to its communication equipment, conning tower, and diving planes, resulting in injuries to 3 Japanese soldiers. Since submarines are most at risk of detection and attack when surfaced, making technologies that keep these boats underwater for longer are critical. Lithium-ion batteries offer faster recharge times compared to lead-based batteries, so the class's 11th submarine, Oreo, was the first to mount them. Yes, you heard it right. The Oreo was the first lithium-ion battery submarine. For the uninitiated, lithium-ion batteries store nearly twice the electricity of traditional lead-acid batteries. Updated Soryu-class boats also added more batteries by placing them within hull spaces previously occupied by AIP system machinery. But while this upgrade increased both the size and energy density of the battery storage, it was the shift to lithium-ion technology that finally enhanced underwater endurance. It also provided an edge over the slower recharge rates of the AIP system. The only downside that I can think of here is the price point. It cost Japan an estimated $540 million to build Kokuryu, the 6th submarine of the Soryu class, and Oryu was way more. It was given a budget of $601.3 million under the Japanese defense budget. However, don't take this to mean the Oryu is overrated. As the last submarine in its class, it learned from mistakes in previous boats and has the best underwater endurance, thanks to its novel lithium-ion batteries. And although the Soryu submarines are so impressive that several nations have actually approached Tokyo for potential acquisitions, countries such as Morocco, India, Norway, Taiwan, the Netherlands, and Australia have showed interest in buying this submarine class. While Japan currently operates these advanced vessels exclusively, future agreements may allow Soryu submarines to serve in other countries. But hey, Soryus aren't the only JMSDF submarines getting all the action. Oyashio-class submarines can conduct both anti-submarine and anti-surface warfare missions, and they are in fact one of the quietest and largest submarine classes of the Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force. The keel for the lead submarine in the class, Oyashio SS-590, was laid in January 1994. It launched in October 1996 and was commissioned in March 1998. Before we talk about its intricacies, permit us to say it's one of the JMSDF's best submarine classes. And yes, it's all because of its design. The Oyashio class features a leaf coil hull design, replacing the previous teardrop shape used in earlier JMSDF submarines. It also shifted from the earlier bow-mounted sensor setup to conformal sonar on its hull sides, enhancing detection capabilities. The Oyashio class has a greater displacement than the Harushio class, mainly due to its large flank sonar arrays. Its high-tensile steel hull is lined with anechoic rubber tiles to boost acoustic strength, while the streamlined hull shape improves underwater maneuverability and propulsion efficiency. Speaking of the latter, the Oyashio class features a high diesel-electric propulsion system with 2 Kawasaki 12V25S diesel engines, 2 Kawasaki alternators, and 2 Toshiba main motors, delivering 7,700 horsepower. This setup allows the submarine to reach speeds of 12 knots on the surface and 20 knots submerged. The Oyashio class also includes an advanced combat intelligence processing system, with adjustments in torpedo tube placement due to its updated sonar configuration. Remember when we told you that the Oyashio class can conduct both anti-submarine and anti-surface warfare missions? Well, that's because they're equipped with 6 HU-605 533mm torpedo tubes and can carry 20 reloads for Type 89 torpedoes and UGM-84D Harpoon anti-ship missiles. The Harpoon missiles can reach speeds of 864 kilometers an hour and have a range exceeding 124 kilometers, making them one of the JMSDF's best offensive submarines. For defense, the Oyashio-class submarines feature Japanese-designed radar and electronics, including the JRC ZPS-6 I-band search radar. The sonar suite is composed of a Hughes Oki ZQQ-5B6 hull-mounted sonar, a tower array sonar, and 4 flank arrays. This not only improves its detection, but also tracking capabilities. while the first two boats, Oyashio and Michishio, have since been converted to training platforms. On the 1st of February 2018, the Ministry of Defense's Maritime Staff Office announced that service life extension work had been completed on 7 of its 82-meter Oshio-class submarines, each with a surface displacement of 2,800 tons. Personally, I think there's a lot to be happy for. Apart from extending their operational lifespan, these 7 submarines underwent significant refits during their second and third maintenance cycles, effectively upgrading them to nearly match the capabilities of the latest Soryu-class submarines. Alas, due to Japan's pacifist constitution, the Oyashio class has not been involved in direct combat operations or battles. Instead, their operational history primarily consists of multinational naval exercises, patrols, and intelligence-gathering missions aimed at regional security and deterring potential threats. For instance, the Oyashio-class submarines have been deployed on patrols around Japan's territorial waters, especially around areas of strategic concern, such as the East China Sea and waters near the Korean Peninsula. Additionally, Oyashio-class submarines have been part of several exercises with allied navies, especially with the United States. RIMPAC is one of them. It allows the submarine to practice the anti-submarine and anti-surface warfare features it was made for in a simulated combat environment alongside other advanced naval forces. All in all, I believe things can only get better for Japan. They've got a really good submarine fleet staffed by dedicated, overworked sailors, and they've got one of the best, stable shipbuilding industries. It's crazy to think it took a nasty natural disaster just to interrupt their schedules. Given the rapid decline of a shipbuilding industrial base without a steady stream of new construction orders, the Japanese method of consistent production and fleet size control through early decommissioning could serve as a useful model for even the US Navy in its long-term shipbuilding strategy. And that, guys, is why if you want to have the history and evolution of the best fleets in the world, then this is the right place to be. Make sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay updated on our upcoming videos. But don't stop here. Explore our channel for more fascinating insights into naval history and technology. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.